welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the violin student essentials. Let's do it. So the first thing first, you guys, what do you need as a violin student? If you're just starting to learn the instrument or you're actually into it, you need a good instrument, all right? It's just because you are just starting does not mean that you have to, play on some kind of cheap violin from eBay and that your parents bought for $50 or that you're gonna buy yourself for $50. No, you guys, invest in a better quality instrument. I know you do not want to give a violin, let's say, for $5,000 to a 7-year-old or 6-year-old. You don't have to spend as much money. There is so much options on the market. There's so many websites. There's so many, I'm sure, local violin stores that you can go and visit and get a decent instrument, nicely made, tunable, that your teacher can actually help you tune it, and something that you can learn on, some good instrument that you can learn on. So please take this advice and try to get a decent instrument. Doesn't have to be, again, thousands of dollars, but you can pay a little bit more, a little bit extra, and get a very good student instrument. So when you finally have your beautiful instrument and you're ready to start, most of the student violins will come with a tailpiece that actually includes all of the tuners. So this way, down the road, you can actually start learning how to tune your own violin, because in the beginning, you guys, it's very difficult to tune the violin with using just a pack. So again, most of the good student instruments will come with a tailpiece which has built-in tuners. If for some reason your instrument does not have it, I would highly recommend, and your teacher probably would recommend this for you, is to go ahead and just put the tuners in. Of course, you're not gonna do it. I'm sure your teacher can do it for you, or you can just go to a local violin store and they will do it for you. This is how the fine tuner looks like. This is a little bit more fancy model because it has like a gold finish here. But you can just buy a little bit, like a silver tone or completely black. It's up to you, but that's pretty much how it looks like. It's not expensive, just a couple of dollars each, and it can be easily installed onto the tailpiece, and then you can learn very quickly how to adjust, the strings and how to tune your violin. It will be just such a lifesaver and time saver at the same time. The next incredibly important thing on your instrument is to have a set of good strings, all right? When you buy your instrument, it usually comes with strings on it. I don't really know what typically they put. Sometimes it's a red label string, sometimes it's a little bit more fancy. Some of the more expensive violin would come with the dominant strings, and dominant strings are very good strings. They are also used by professionals. This is how it looks like, you guys, and you cannot go wrong with the dominant. So I know for the very small violin, like a quarter size, 8-size violin, companies are trying to make those steel strings that are actually holding tune better than synthetic strings, but again, those are not my favorite. So what I would suggest is for you to go to the local store or the website, and I'll link a couple of options below. Buying Adario strings for beginner violin is amazing. They came up with the Ascenta strings, and now they are also available for viola, and they are available for tiny violins and half-size violin and you name it, and full-size violin, and they're not gonna break your budget. They're about $22, and it's much better quality than your ordinary steel strings. So I would highly recommend. I did put a blog post about those strings, so you can go ahead and check it out. I'll link it above there, and in my opinion, they are one of the best student strings. Dominants are awesome, but they are a lot more expensive. They run between, it depends, you can get them on sale, but they run between $50 and $60. Ascenta are about $23 or $22, and they are amazing. So I'll link it below. I'll link it above and below, so you can go and check it out. And just make sure that you always have a one set on hand, that it's not just one set that it's on your violin. Have another one in the case, so if something happens, hey, I have a brand new set. With talking of strings, also make sure that you do replace your strings frequently. I would suggest for like a typical violin student every 4 to 6 months to put a fresh set of strings. So again, if you're buying the Ascenta, it's not gonna break your budget. If you have to buy a dominant, it's a little bit more pricey, but if you don't mind, I'll highly recommend those strings as well. Okay, let's talk about the rosins, you guys. When you buy your violin outfit, it usually comes with some kind of a rosin, but the rosin they put in your case is not a very good quality rosin. So what I would suggest you guys to get a very good rosin, okay? Again, doesn't have to be expensive, but the one you're gonna receive most likely will look like this. It's really nothing good, you guys. It crumbles very quickly. It doesn't stick well to the bow. This is like one of the typical examples of this inexpensive rosin. It might come also in the, you know, box like this. And again, it's just crumble all over the place, you guys. And it's very hard to use it, and I just do not recommend. So what I would recommend for you to do is to get a decent rosin. Doesn't have to be super expensive, but for example, Magic rosin, it's about $10–15 rosin. It's amazing, you guys. It's just gonna give you plenty of powerful sound, and it's just gonna beautifully glide on your bow. Keep in mind that it's pretty dusty rosin, and the funny thing is it comes with a different design. As you can see, I have like a little manuscript in here, but you can get like different colors and different design. The one that I like is the Ultra, and it's great student rosin. If you do not want to spend $10–15, the best rosin under $10, it's a Bernadelle rosin. It's such a nice rosin, you guys. Comes in this beautiful velvet pouch. Again, I do have a blog post. I think it's amazing. This is actually a brand new and it comes in this beautiful cake. And yeah, make sure you keep it attached to the cake, so then when you apply on your bow, you can actually grab with your fingers underneath. This way your fingers are not touching the rosin. But this is how it looks like. This is such a great rosin, and it costs about $9, to be honest with you. So yeah, I would highly recommend to invest a couple of bucks and just get a nicer rosin, you guys, because those are just not gonna do it. All right, let's talk about a shoulder rest. You need some kind of a shoulder rest. Yes, there is a small percentage of violinists who don't use anything, or they just use like a tiny sponge. But as a beginner student, I believe you should have some kind of a shoulder rest. I have been teaching for over 20 years, you guys, and just talking to you from my experience, you need a shoulder rest as a beginner to create a good habit and a good posture as you play. One of my favorite shoulder rests for beginner students is some kind of a Kun shoulder rest. This is such an entry-level shoulder rest that pretty much suits everybody in the beginning, and it comes in various sizes and colors these days, and I have some older options here. So this is how it looks like, you guys. And again, this one is for the 1/4 to the 8 size. So this is for tiny violins, and of course, as you can see, they are extendable on both sides. You can probably get it in colors, different colors these days, and they have collapsible sides as well. This is like your typical, like I said, shoulder rest. Has a little bit of the cushion, and it will give you just enough support for your little shoulder. Of course, it comes in a full-size option as well. This one is again quite old. I have been using it for the longest years ago, and again, it's adjustable. This one is for the full size to the 3/4. Again, you have this cushion, and those really, see, like mine is very old. Those little legs are replaceable, or just a little rubber, you can replace it, so it's not gonna damage your instrument. There's also another option that I would suggest, which has even more cushion if you are into it. This is by the brand called Everest, and this particular shoulder rest is from 1/2 to the 3/4 size. And again, I have it in blue, comes in many different colors, so lots of my female students will get it in pink. Those are, you know, just fun shoulder rests. This is a little bit thicker, and it's a little bit more massive than a Kun, but also pretty much the same shape, and there's a great option for a beginning violin student. Speaking from my experience, I am not a big fan of thick sponges or some kind of playing on air kind of shoulder rests. Usually it doesn't work. Attaching them with a rubber band, everything is just kind of moving and wobbling around. I would really not recommend. Just get a nice Kuhn or Everest or anything similar to it that actually stays nicely and firmly on your instrument is a much better option. As a violin student, you will also need to get a microfiber cloth. It's because you want to save your instrument, so any microfiber cloth will do, because when you play you want to always wipe off your instrument after playing, or the strings on top of the instrument. So having a nice microfiber cloth that will pick up the rosin residue is crucial. I'll link it down below, a couple of options, but you should always keep one in your case and just wipe it off your entire instrument after each practice. If you are a more advanced student, and especially the one who is joining the orchestra, and you will need some kind of a mute. There is so many different kind of mutes on the market. The one that are the best for the students are probably the simplest one. This is like an example of the very easy, simple mute. Doesn't cost a fortune, will do the job, same as this one. It's really nothing fancy. You attach them to the strings. This is how it looks like, you guys. So it's gonna stay in here, and every time you want to put it on, you just kind of slide it up and adjust on top of your bridge. There we go. This is how it looks like, and then when you're already playing with the mute, you just slide it down here. So this is your typical student mute that I usually see on the student instrument, and it will just do the job. You don't need to be fancy with this, and but it's crucial when you play in the orchestra. So that's pretty much it, you guys. I didn't talk about the bow, but having a good quality bow, a decent bow, is also extremely important. And probably if you are just starting violin, sometimes getting one of those carbon fiber bows is actually a great option. They are, from my opinion, from my point of view, they are a little bit better made, and I feel like they're nicer than the beginner wooden bow. Once you get a little bit more advanced, getting a wooden bow, good quality wooden bow, is very important. But I think in the very, very beginner stage, probably getting one of those carbon fiber bows is a great option as well. So I would highly recommend to do that as well. And yeah, let me guys know if you have any questions. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell, so this way you'll know when my videos are coming up. And if you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!